contact.
Hey everybody, it's Harry Carey for the Armchair Quarterbacks. Get yourself a cold Budweiser every Saturday morning and join in the fun and watch the neighborhood play. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. They talk about my Cubbies. It's Joey Areola, Christian Pledge. He's a White Sox fan, but we'll give him a pass. Hey, why do they call it White Sox? Their jerseys always look very dirty to me. Sounds like something that could be cancel culture to me. Let's look into that, Cubbies fans. It's the neighborhood play, only on the YouTube channel, Armchair Quarterback Show. Harry Carey, signing off. Seeing double, because I'm ordering triples. Go Cubbies and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Hey, does Tay Diggs follow you on Twitter?
No, but Kraft Singles does.
All right! Let me hear you! A one, a two, a three. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the top. Find me some peanuts, crackers.
Good morning. Welcome to the neighborhood play. As we've got Joey Areola with us, he looks very confused.
Very.
You all right there? You got your Houston shirt on. I like it.
I had a rough day. My computer's not currently working. My car was towed by my own facility, so it's been a rough Saturday. But I'm ready to talk some baseball.
What did I tell you about what kind of websites to stay away from, man? They'll crash your computer every single time.
It's my work computer.
You can even, and it's not going to work trying to use a VPN. It's going to crash your computer.
Oh, Mac, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Sorry for us being a little late. We had some scheduling issues, so we're starting a little late. I was pretty proud of the fact that I found that Harry Carey entrance.
That got the that got me to think about some good things right there. That got the goosebumps going a little bit. I like the part. He's a White Sox fan. We'll take him.
Yeah, thank you for Harry for coming out of the grave to do that commercial for us. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the non-hitter or the no-hitter that the Cubs did. 4 guys, 8 walks, and they want to sit here and call this a no-hitter. Only the Cubs would do this, man.
Well, so what's interesting about that is I've had a pretty messed up schedule right now, so I didn't catch the whole game live, but when I woke up and heard no-hitter, I was like, oh, nice. I'm like, wait a minute. Zach Davies hasn't thrown 9 innings in his life, probably. I'm like,
oh, so I've got Zach Davies in a fantasy league, and I was like, score. I was like, oh, he only went 6 innings. He walked 5 guys. So he really didn't have that great of a fantasy day. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
No, and so, okay. Now, here's my thing. There was 4 pitchers who did it right. That is not a true no-hitter, obviously. It's still tough because in the hit column, it still says 0. So part of me, I have this back and forth game a little bit, but obviously that's not your true prototypical no-hitter where, you have a guy that's just
a young kid. There was a combined no-hitter. I'm trying to remember who the hell threw it, what team it was. It was an off-beaten team. I want to say it was like the Pirates, but I don't remember. And that was the first time that I realized that you could have a combined no-hitter. They would consider it a no-hitter. But back then, no-hitters were much more rare, right? Yes. Now that they have them every day, and you have the situation where not only do they have it every day, but then you also have 4 guys. And my biggest thing with it is 8 walks. It means the 8 dudes were on base. I can give someone a pass 2 or 3 walks if it's one person through an entire 9 inning, but then you didn't know hit. I go, okay, that's legit. You get to 8. Edwin Jackson did this a few years back.
He had like 130 pitches or something, right?
I don't remember that. What I remember is I think the number was 8. I'm going to look it up here in a second. But he walked like 8 guys. And I remember seeing like it was when he was Arizona, I believe. And as soon
Correct.
as I saw it, I was like, well, that's not a no hitter. I guess you've got a guy on base almost every freaking inning, right? Like, yeah, is that really a no hitter?
And that's the thing too, because it does say 0 on the hit count, but how cool really is it? I mean, right? Like, it's not a dominating no hitter by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but it was impressive that it was against the Dodgers, even though they're injured and they're somewhat depleted, and that's what everyone wanted to point to. They still have a pretty damn good batting lineup. The key to that was it was a complete game shutout, and it would have been more special to me if I'm a Cubs fan if we didn't have to use so much of the bullpen to get there, right? So
yes,
that's the big thing about a no-hitter nowadays. It's not the fact that because I think there's like 350 of them. I think it's a little lower than that, but all time there's well over 300 no-hitters, right?
Right.
So how special is that really? Now, the perfect game, I think there's still only like around 30. And so those are the ones that, if you get a perfect game, that's special. But not to take anything away from it, Cubs fans, it's just more the fact that was it really that great? Because you had to use four pitchers. But it's still a cool thing to celebrate if you're a fan. And it's more so for the players. The players get excited about it. I think most fans now just eye roll. Like if Atlanta, who pitches today? Anderson. If Anderson goes out and throws a no-hitter, I'll be like, all right, well, whatever, man. Is he going to the IL? Like what's the because that's the next thing you know. Well, he threw over 100 pitches, so we got to put him on the 10-day IL, make sure he's fresh next time out. And I'm like, oh, God, when the hell did men quit playing baseball? It's a different rant for a different
so
day.
true, though.
It's like, come on. Every sport has just become such a weenie sport. I'll tell you one of the best sports I've seen in a long time that has intrigued me because I've been keeping one of my TVs on the Olympic channel for a hot minute over the last few weeks because they're doing their tryouts and stuff. And I do like Olympic sports, especially like the ones that are like, you just disappeared. Where the hell did you go?
I'm here.
Stay off that freaking porn site, dude. I'm telling you, it's nothing but bad news, man.
This apartment's haunted.
You're gonna need to see your hands, Jeffrey Bubik, during the Zoom call.
I'll just keep them up here.
But this sounds strange, but I'm telling you, it is violent and it is fun to watch. So it'll be on this summer. Paralympic hockey. Have you ever seen this thing?
Is that there's? I mean, are they literally in?
They're on ice. They're on skates, but it's more of like a snowboard type of thing because they're, they're paralyzed, right?
Right.
So they're all like literally like sitting, okay, but they're on this. The best way I can explain it, it's almost like a not a snowboard, but a snow.
Like a sled, a little sled, maybe,
yeah, like a snow sled, except it would be on ice. Okay, an ice sled,
gotcha.
Okay, and they are banging the hell out of each other. I will say this: when you're that low to the ground, and so they keep two sticks to help them push, and then also to smack the hell out of the puck. But when you're that low to the ground, I will say this: they need to do something about widening the goal because it's very difficult to score, as you can imagine. Because you've got this sled in the way and you're low and you basically have a very small window to be able to hit. So they need to widen the goal a little bit, but it's fun. If you get a chance to check it out, it's pretty fun. I've been watching a lot of the Olympic stuff. The track and field's always my favorite just because that is still like the most pure sport there is because I'm either faster than you or I'm not, right? And so
right, yeah.
Let's go. But anyways, let's dive into, this is supposed to be Chicago baseball. So let's go ahead and do some of that. Okay. So looking at the Chicago Cubs right now, and then we'll turn our attention to the White Sox.
Absolutely.
You've got a huge series with the Dodgers right now, right?
Yes.
And considering the fact that threw the no-hitter the other night, okay? And if we look at today's game specifically, let me get over that because I'm not sure who the Dodgers starter was because there was something up in the air about that. So I want to make
I think it's Alex Mills versus Urias.
It is Urias, okay, because they were on the fence about that. Okay, so Urias is going to go. Alec Mills, speaking of no-hitters, Alec Mills on the mound. And so that's a big matchup. That game, by the way, is 7:15 or 6:15 Central on Fox. And then tomorrow's game is the evening game. It's going to be Kershaw versus Alzolay, which is a great pitching matchup. Looking forward to that. I'm so glad it's not Atlanta versus. I mean, I'm so tired of seeing them and I know that's ironic considering the hat that I got on. But seriously, there's 30 teams in baseball. I'm really shocked it's not Yankees, Red Sox. I
feel like that's an automatic plug usually.
Yeah, every time they play on a weekend, you always get that. But I guess that might have something to do with broadcasting rights, where the Yankees and Red Sox are like, no, dude, we get to broadcast this one. You can't get all of our games. So with all that being said, the Dodgers two more games in this set, Alzolay and Kershaw tomorrow, and then you got Mills and Urias tonight. And then last night, to catch everyone up to speed that may have missed the ball game, because it was a late one, Dodgers won 6-2. Did you get a chance to watch much of that game, by the way?
Yeah, it was a pretty good. It was 2-2 until the bottom of the eighth, and then the bullpen, which doesn't implode often for the Cubs, kind of had a little mishap, so it ended up losing 6-2.
See, and once again, could they have possibly won that if Davies could have went longer than 6 innings the night before, right? Because you're
not a bad argument.
Because there comes a point where you have to give certain guys a day off, and you got to go high leverage guys when you got a no hitter on the line, because if not, the media's just going to kill you, and you're going like, there's like one every week. Calm down. They're like, well, man, lifetime event, man.
It's either a no hitter or Aaron Rodgers on ESPN. They don't cover anything else.
It is Aaron Rodgers up to. They haven't talked about him in 13 minutes. I guess. Want a live camera. I want a live camera, like a drone hovering over his house, like they did OJ back in the day when he's coming in and out of the Bronco. So looking at that, looking at the fact that they've split so far, they got 2 tough games in front of them because Urias is a great pitcher in his own right. For people who are not familiar with him, he's a very talented hitter. You got to try to figure out how to win at least one of these games, right? Yep. Do you feel more confident tonight or tomorrow night?
I'm going to go tomorrow night just because I've liked what Alzolay has done this year. Now, he just came back from injury, and his last start was decent. But Alec Mills, he's very up and down. I mean, our whole starting rotation is, and we'll get to that in a minute, where we think that may have to go in the future. But I'm going to trust Alzolay more, even though I know Kershaw's going tomorrow. But Urias is pretty good himself, and you're in LA. So I think we have the better chance tomorrow if I had to choose.
I think I'm with you because we all know Kershaw's probably going to the Hall of Fame unless something terrible happens. But the Alec Mills thing would concern me. And the Dodgers are about to start getting healthy. So it's a good thing that they're getting out of town, right?
Yeah, get out.
But even still, when they get their guys back, there's something off about the Dodgers, and I can't put my finger on it. And I don't know if it's just the World Series hangover, whatever, but they don't seem as imposing. Their pitchers seem like they're gettable. Their hitters, I mean, if you look up and down the box score of a Dodger game, which I look on almost every box score every morning when I wake up to get my coffee. That's always been my ritual. The Dodgers are hitting in the low 200s, most of them. That's not Dodger baseball, putting the ball in play. So they feel a little off, and it's probably why the Giants are, the team to beat right now over there. But you don't want to lose 3 or 4 to the Dodgers.
No, and
especially because the damn Brewers won't stop winning. What the heck? I thought they were gone yesterday.
did you watch that game yesterday?
Yes.
So did I. I was so pissed
in the
off.
game. I
Oh,
still covered because I took the +1.5 because I
Right.
really liked the pitching match. I was like, dude, John Gray's back. He's a pretty damn good pitcher. And when they got 4-0, I was like, it's a wrap. This Brewers offense is terrible. And how in the world they came back? It's brutal.
well, and I was confused why that was a 3:00 game too. I all of a sudden looked at my phone like, holy crap, this game's already going.
The only thing that I can think of, and it wasn't explained, but it would make a lot of sense, was the Milwaukee Bucks were at home last night.
That's the only idea I had as well.
So I'm thinking that's what it was, but I never saw an explanation because I had the game on mute. I was working, so I couldn't hear it, but I figured that's what it's got to be because it was not the case a couple of days before then. They popped that up last minute, so it had to be that. It had to be concerns with a couple of things. I'd say A, traffic, and then B,
Viewership.
They probably figured they can get more butts in the stand
True.
in a ball game against the Rockies mid-afternoon. Everyone just leaves work early, goes to that, and then I don't know how close the stadiums are to each other, but I'd say that's got something to do with it. But it worked out for them. They got the win. They won 3 in a row. And so the Reds, they lost last night. The Cardinals, dude, they can't get out of their own way. They've lost 5 in a row. They're playing the Pirates right now. The Pirates.
Well, and that's an interesting thing too.
They're
As we
terrible.
talk about,
The Cardinals are terrible, right? Taking Jack Flaherty took all the smoke and mirrors off, and this team is just terrible at this point.
well, yeah, and that's we're talking about the standings, and it's very important to me because right now we're 1 game back. But any excuse to me that management will get to sell, they will take it. So all these games are crippling coming down into the trade deadline because you cannot. I don't even think you can get beyond 3 to 4 games back because that will give them some excuse to try and get some of these guys off. And I really hope we deserve to stay in this race. If you lose a lot in a row, obviously things can happen. But the Cubs have shown, at least in the NL Central, they could stick around. So I just keep hoping they fight tooth and nail.
Well, I'm also looking at the fact that they could buy and sell in the same breath because they might sell some guys that are going to lose at free agent, but be buying to try to stay in this thing. I feel like in my heart of hearts, where are we at the 26th? So we're just over a month away. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Programming note, by the way, y'all, we won't be doing a show next Saturday. It's 4th of July weekend. Figure everyone needs to charge their batteries, right? So,
Fair.
But we're about a month away from the trade deadline. If this team is still in it a month from now, you can't trade away those core players. You got to give them a chance to go one last run. I know there's not a likelihood that this team is going to go out and win the World Series. We get that. But you got to give them a chance to go to the playoffs one more time, give the fans something to cheer about after a terrible year of COVID, right?
And well, let me ask you this one thing too. Do you think them actually getting it together and winning a World Series is the biggest factor and why they should let them do it? Or do you not really see that as a reason? Because to me, winning a ring after 100 years, that's why it's one of the biggest reasons to me. You let this ride out and see what happens. They brought you here. This roster literally got you a ring, a championship in Chicago.
They've won a World Series, and that's why I think that they deserve a chance.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. That you let them, you give it one last poke, and people may argue, well, you're not going to get anything in return if you just let them go to the line. I get it, but come on now. We're going to have to probably do some retooling, rebuilding regardless. Let's give us a run, especially if we're hanging in the standings like this.
Yeah, and especially because the division is not there. There's not someone who you're like, you don't have a Goliath in that division where you're saying, we're just never going to win the division. Because right now, if you look at the standings, not just the where's it at? Here we go. The league standings. Okay. So wild card, right? You you've got to look at the fact that the Cubs have the 5th best record in major leagues right now, or in the National League.
Right.
So
the 3 NL West teams.
Right.
Yeah.
You got the 3 NL West teams, and you've got the Brewers. You're realistically in a division race. And I've been saying this for a while. Dodgers, San Diego, and San Fran, they look like they're all going to the playoffs.
I agree, probably.
Unless something terrible happens to one of them, think they're going to get in. San Fran's putting it together like no other. But the point being, it's probably going to come down to a 2-team race between the Brewers and the Cubs. You're probably not going to get a divisional. I don't think the Reds have staying power. They can get hot with the best of them, but I don't think they have staying power to do it all year long. If they were serious about that, they would have re-signed Trevor Bauer. National League East, they're only getting 1 team in. The best record in the National League East right now is the Mets at 39 wins. That is 6-7 wins behind the 2 wild cards. They're not getting in. Other than a division win, and I think the Central most likely as well. I thought they would beat up on each other, Dodgers and San Diego and Giants. They're not, man. They're splitting with each other, and then they're smoking the rest of the National League.
The Diamondbacks, they're just so sad.
Oh, they're ridiculous. 21 games, 77 games into the freaking 21. I was talking about this the other day on the Take Me Out to the Ball Game show. They are all-time bad. And I don't think no one's giving this enough attention. They are on pace. Arizona is to win just over 40 games. That's insane.
What's the word? The Royals, I know, have a pretty bad one. But I wonder what the lowest wins for 162 games is.
The lowest, I believe it was, let me.
I think the Detroit Tigers or Royals, one of those 2 teams I know were historically bad at one point. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but
the one that always pops in my head is the 62 Mets. They're infamously bad, but let me double check because a lot of it gets lost in winning percentages and all that kind of stuff. But I'll pull it up real quick. And I do know that the Cleveland Spiders were like terrible, but but that was before you played as many games as you do now. Let me see. This is a terrible. I went to the wrong page. This sucks.
Why you do that real quick and go
always
on.
Asking questions that you don't know the answer to. The one rule in radio I tell all of you nincompoops to not do, and y'all do it every single week, at least once a week. One of you go, well, whatever. Look up the damn question yourself. I'm gonna start telling you people that.
Well, hey, it's a Cubs talk show. I didn't think we'd even be on the Diamondbacks, but we ended up getting.
But you asked the question. I didn't ask the damn question. You asked the question.
Hey, I just got charged $218 for parking in my own garage. I don't need this hostility right now.
What city are you in right now?
I'm back. I just got back to Wheaton, Illinois.
Okay.
So I'm back in my.
So you're in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm back.
That is once again your fault for living in Chicago. No one wants to live in Chicago. Nobody. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. I pulled a radio no hit, but here's my thing too.
All right, the worst here. I think I found something that wasn't. God bless. Someone made a page like you go. Okay, Wikipedia. It's normally broken down like a spreadsheet. This dumbass is over here writing a freaking novel about it. I'm like, what? I got time to read all this, you moron.
Just give us what we want to know.
Right. So as far as the win-losses, I think this is actually sortable. The win-losses, which is the one that I always remember because the Cleveland Spiders only won 20 games in 1899, but it's 154 games. That's also pre-1900, live ball era. So you got to throw that one away. The Philadelphia A's were also historically bad in 1916. They won 36 games, but that was infamous because Connie Mack sold a bunch of players that offseason in 1916 to basically revamp his team. Remember, Connie Mack had no worries about getting fired. He coached the A's. He was part owner, Philadelphia A's, for over 50 years. So You could do that back then and go, deal with it. We're going to suck. And then, it's just what it is. Boston Braves won 38 in 1935. Okay.
Mhm.
So now we're getting closer and closer to all time, what I would consider. And so I am right as far as what I would consider modern era. 1962, the New York Mets won 40 games, went 40 and 120, and had a 250 win percentage. Okay. Ooh. The Tigers you're talking about won 43. So it's pretty damn bad. 119 losses, 265. And what was the other one you said? Seattle? Let me see. I
can't remember if it was Kansas City or I don't know, but the Detroit one's good, the Mets one's good, and I'm sure there's if you say Seattle or Kansas City, I would not be shocked because those are historically have had some bad seasons.
I don't see a modern era one. You got the Mets, you got the Tigers, and that's about it that's on this list.
Okay.
And the Mets, you can argue if that's modern era too or not, because that's pre-DH. It was 1962. And they were an expansion team. So I always give them kind of a caveat. When I think of all-time worst teams, you'll hear me reference the 62 Mets, but they were an expansion team because that was famously Casey Stengel, who had coached the Yankees, was coaching that team. He famously said in an interview with a bunch of microphones in his face in 1962, midway through the season, can't anybody out here play this damn game? Because they were literally, my mom and my grandfather would talk about this all the time. When you would watch the 62 Mets, they would literally like clunk into each other in the outfield, kick the ball around. Like they were bad. They were like Bad News Bears, but it was actually real. Like it was terrible.
It's like a circus show.
So your 03 Tigers are probably the you would look at in ours. Other than that, it's all 1950s and 40s and stuff. And
gotcha.
So that's where we're at with that. All right. Now that you got me down that rabbit hole.
It was a fun little rabbit hole.
Yeah, it was. How about I show up an hour late and then throw McGee a curveball?
Hey, you still got the statistics, so you get the credit. I'll take all the blame.
Yeah, when you're trying to Google on the fly, you don't know what the hell you're going to click on. And sure enough, I got once upon a time baseball was invented back in 1840. Seriously, I just want to know who's got the worst winning percentage. All right, moving on from that.
Yes.
Where is Jake Berger? What's your expectations with him?
Man, it's because you look at the statistics, and I mean, he's hitting 295 right now. He's not a big homer. He has one homer, big deal, but he's getting on base more than usual. I mean, if you look at the rest, his batting average, besides a little bit of 2015 and 16, that was college ball. So I'm not even really going to consider that. But this year he is having his best chance. And with the White Sox injuries, Eloy Jimenez, even though he's back in the spring training facility, maybe it is time to give him a shot. A lot of people I know, Sox fans wise, are very down on this guy. They almost wanted him not even as a part of the organization the last couple of years, but why not give it a little bit of a go? He's in Charlotte AAA ball, and he's putting the ball in play. So I say you give him a shot on the roster, especially the White Sox. They're only 2 up on the Indians now. Everyone keeps thinking this is an automatic, easy thing. Cleveland's coming, so you better get things back in gear before they could maybe possibly surpass you in the standings. And now, to me, you got to try it.
Do I have the wrong Jake Berger in front of me? You're saying he's hitting 290 something?
Yeah, right now at AAA.
The one that I have, he's hitting 357. But is there more than one Jake Berger? Shortstop.
I have him here, 2021 in AAA Charlotte. He has 167 plate appearances, 156 at-bats, and it says he's hitting 295 with an on-base percentage of 335. All
right, so I don't know who the heck I stumbled across over. Evidently, there's more than one, so heads up if you try to pick him up in fantasy. What's his how's his last name spelt?
His last name is spelled like the actual Burger, Burger.
So that's what it was. You sent me the wrong thing, man.
Yeah, and I got that.
You're on an
I got that
roll. You sent me.
I got that from Christian Pledge. I got that from Christian. I told him to send me the
He's
Sox
sitting there eating bombs right now, just laughing at us. By the way, where the hell is he today? Is he okay?
So he's having his family's having a tailgate event for the Sox game that starts at 1:00, and he had to be there and help set up by 10:30.
So he's drunk.
So they're actually
okay. There we go.
yeah, pretty much.
Hell of an operation we're running here. So, so basically, you're saying that you think that they should call him up as opposed to making. I don't know. It's $295 in the minors. The only problem that I have with that, because I have not watched this guy play, I had to look him up. $295 in the minors usually equates to like $250 in the majors. But he is 25. You can't let him just sit down there forever. So I kind of think along the lines of sink or swim.
Right. And I mean, he only is 0.1% rostered in fantasy. So nobody sees him as like the Tampa Bay Rays guy is the sleeper, minor league
guy, 6'2", supposedly.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you see him up to bat, you're like, man, this guy might put one boom right over the fence. But like I said, until this season, until this stretch, Sox fans have not been impressed with him. So I think that he's finally been doing some production. It's now or never for me to get him up here. To keep it simple.
Other things that we're going to hit on was Kepik, Eloy, Engel. Now Kepik I saw is throwing, and he should be rejoining the Sox bullpen very shortly. I'm wondering, like, why is he not a starter? Because he has been phenomenal every step of the way when healthy. Do you have any idea why they're not putting him as a starter?
I honestly think they're nervous, and I hate to just blatantly put it like that, but after, he's had a couple injury hiccups, he's had a couple, mental head scratchers, and he did throw a simulated game on Friday, like you said, and he's throwing another one Monday. I just truly feel like they kind of wanted him to ease in this season. Okay. So they're pitching him, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 innings. He started a game, but they took him out after 3 or 4. I think he's so comfortable right now. And, he has been dominating when he has pitched on the big league roster this year, that they don't want to put too much on his plate unless they have to. And I know you might say, oh, come on, he's a major leaguer. He's a phenomenal talent. But I really think they're easing him in because mentally and injury-wise, he isn't always there.
He's 25.
I know.
Get it together.
I mean, believe me, he got into it with a fan.
If you don't start putting things together at age 25, you're not going to Cooperstown. I can tell you that. And if you don't start putting things at age 25, when you do hit your free agency, you're not going to get paid. He's only pitched, 31 innings this year?
Yeah, 31.1 innings pitched.
He pitched 14 in 2018. Then, of course, didn't play because of the injury in 19, and then opted out in 2020. Dude, I just feel like it just feels like kid gloves to me with this guy.
And here's the thing, too, a quick little story. I mean, a guy in the fans was saying something, and he started chirping back. They had to take him away from the bullpen area. So he's a midget mentally, and I think he just, like you said, he opted out in 2020 too.
Was that this season?
That was this season, early in the year, yes.
Yeah, that's no good.
So
I don't understand but the simulated games that he's been pitching, they're not actual games, right? It's just innings, right?
Right, just simulated game today and Monday.
Right.
Or yesterday and Monday, I'm sorry.
But you keep saying simulated game, but I think you mean simulated inning, correct? Or is he pitching several innings?
No, he's pitching several innings, and just where it's
why do they keep saying that he's headed back into their bullpen? That's a head scratcher for me.
It doesn't show the innings here in these simulated games,
right?
So but maybe it's only a couple. But yeah, no, it's a head scratcher, and it says Tony La Russa was impressed with the righty's command, but he's still not quite ready to come back on a rehab assignment or return to the active roster. His next step should come clearly Monday after his next simulated start.
Okay, but once again, you see them talk about the 25-year-old should be heading to the bullpen soon. Why are they going through simulated games if they're just going to send him to the bullpen? That's
something's not right.
something's not right with either the reporting of it or whatever the hell LaRusse is doing.
Which is probably boozing.
Because if when did he do his simulated game? It was Thursday, correct?
Friday and then Monday again.
Friday and then Monday? Then he's not doing multiple innings.
It must have just been one, though.
Because that's only 2 days of rest.
Correct.
You're worried about a guy he's made of glass, and you're going to pitch him 50, 60 pitches on Friday and 50, 60 pitches on Monday. That's just not going to happen.
No, so it must be an inning, like you said.
I just don't understand why he's got a 1.72 ERA.
Yes, and he strikes out people.
Yeah, 45 Ks in 31 innings. I do not understand why he's being just literally it's like kid gloves.
He should be talked about as like a phenom right now. When he starts, everybody should be like, oh man, Kopech's going to take, but for some reason it's not there.
When he first came up, that was the thing. That's what I guess that's why I have a hard time wrapping my head around why he's sitting in the bullpen doing nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. He's had one game where he's had 2 games where he's gone 4 innings or longer.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them phenomenal.
Correct.
The 5-inning one against Texas, 10 strikeouts. The 4-inning one against Kansas City, he only gave it 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. 3 innings against Cleveland, 3 strikeouts. I don't get it. I know they've got starting pitching in Chicago. I get that, but this guy should be a number 5 at worst.
Shit, we'll take him to the north side. We need all the pitching we could get. I'll start at 5, 6.
I just don't get it. Anyways, I can't unwrap my head around why Michael Kopech is only getting 1 inning at a pop. Come on, there's got to be someone you can take out of that freaking lineup,
right?
Anyways, we'll move on from that. Eloy Jimenez, what you got on him? I mean, he's not coming back anytime soon, is he?
He was cleared to start participating in baseball activity at the White Sox spring training complex. But really, after tearing that left pectoral tendon, which we know and that was in late March, that could take some time. They're trying to ramp up the rehab work, but he's still in the very, very early stages of that.
I mean, what's best case scenario with him in August, early September?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So by then, Cleveland could be hunting.
Cleveland could be what?
Like Cleveland could be catching and hunting. I mean, they're right on their tail right now.
They are. I feel about Cleveland the way I do about the Reds, where I'm like, I know they've got some talent. I just don't believe that 162 game season they'll be there.
Fair.
I mean, if you thought you were a legitimate contender, why are you bouncing Lindor out the gate? Right. I would like to see Cleveland contend because it's better for baseball. Even if they don't make the playoffs, it's just better for them to by the way, if you got Josh Fleming, he just went on the IL again. If you got him in fantasy baseball, that dude would not stay off freaking IL. It is absolutely insane. He is Tampa Bay's version of Michael Kopech. All right. So you're the Cubs. What pitcher would you love to see come to the town that is a realistic trade option for you?
So we were it's kind of funny. We were talking about Colorado earlier. They're at Milwaukee right now. So I was looking at the bottom of the standings. And of course I kind of take the Cubs division out because you don't see a lot of inter-division trades all the time. It does happen, but I was looking at teams like Colorado, Arizona, and Miami. And when I think about it, I looked at Colorado specifically, obviously with the ballpark they're in, it's never as easy to pitch there. And 2 names that I would not mind seeing is German Marquez, who right now is 6-6 with a 3.99 ERA. I don't think you'd have to break the bank for him. Or John Gray, who just came back from injury. He's 4-6 with a 3.97. So these guys are in the high 3s right now. And I don't think you'd have to break the bank to get either one of them. The only other one besides that I thought is a possibility, maybe a Madison Bumgarner, but he's on the IL right now. His ERA is in the low 3s. But I know we're not going to break the bank. That's why I'm looking at the.
You don't want him. I'm telling you right now. Bumgarner, he he's past his prime. He's getting paid way too much by Arizona. If I'm you, I stay clear of that. I'll tell you who's off the block now because they started winning again with Scherzer of the Nationals. He would have been an attractive trade possibility, but I think the Nationals are going to stay in this race.
Thanks, Kyle Schwarber.
I got a couple of names for you. Matthew Boyd. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Pretty good.
I like
pitcher.
that one.
Pretty good pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. We know they're not going to be contenders, so you can throw his name in there. There was a couple of others. There's some on this list I'm looking at that aren't realistic because these teams are winning and they're not going to sell.
Matthew Boyd was on my list.
Dylan Bundy is an interesting one because he has he's an accomplished starter just like Alex Cobb. He does tend to slump sometimes and give up runs, so it makes you a little nervous. And then one of the other ones that where's his name at? By the way, they have Josh Hader on this. Josh Hader's not getting traded.
Yeah, like see that? Come on now.
You lost your absolutely loving brain. I'm going to go to an older list of one that was preseason. And where they're saying, okay, and of course, the problem with a lot of these publications that you run into, they fall in love with hitting. So the majority of their stuff is hitting. Plesac is an interesting one, but not only is he injured, he's on a contender, so I think we can eliminate him. John Gray, you mentioned. I really think that he's going to be the coup d'etat. I think everyone's going to be trying to get John Gray.
Correct.
This article's so bad. It's talking about Joe Musgrove getting traded from the Pirates.
Jeez, it's like now. Hey, here's the
guy. Here's the guy I was trying to find.
Okay,
Danny Duffy, left-hander, Kansas City. He's got playoff experience. He's a good veteran pitcher. I think he could be a sneaky get. I think he would fit perfectly with the Chicago Cubs. And he just came off the IL. We'll see if he stays healthy. That's going to have a lot to do with his trade market value, obviously. But that would be the other guy. Here's someone else.
Is it unrealistic that Zach Gallen gets moved? Is that just unrealistic?
Here's a guy with 2 years of control. You want an instant bam to your lineup? John Means.
Baltimore, yeah.
John Means is going to be a free agent at the end of next year, is what they're saying. Okay. Which means Baltimore could get more for him this month than they can get for him if they wait till the offseason. You only have 1 year. John Means is the guy that I would back the truck up for.
And actually, there's somebody pretty high up in their organization who used to be with the Cubs. I know we made our few moves with the Orioles over the years, so I could see that as a realistic option. And again, I know all these names aren't flashy, but Cubs are not going to break the bank. I even looked at the name Zach Gallen, but you would have to unload your whole minor league system to get him, right?
Do you have the control in front of him?
That's what I'm not sure. I was just looking at.
It's only 1 year, then no. But if he's multiple years, then yeah, I think you would have to. I'll tell you what, Arizona's got to do something because that team,
right.
On paper, they should be an okay baseball team. Not great, but okay. Something is wrong in Arizona. To only have won, what did we say, 21 games earlier? To only have
21.
I mean, come on.
And Gallen's only on a 1 year contract for $600K.
Do you know who runs the Arizona Diamondbacks?
I do not.
Joe Torre.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that.
What the hell is he doing?
Not much.
It's not as easy when you don't have Steinbrenner money behind you, is it there?
Bingo.
As every single Braves fan knows from the early 80s, Joe Torre was the Braves coach in the early 80s. He was terrible. He goes to New York, wins all these championships. Guys, you're the greatest of all time. He had Steinbrenner money. Shut it.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of like when Belichick was in Cleveland, then he bounced over to New England. I know completely different stories.
We got to start doing an Arizona Diamondback watch every week on this show. We're going to start doing it. See how many wins they're at. They're 273 winning percentage. So right now, it's not all-time worse, but they've also lost 9 of their last 10. So
Yeah, I think they even threw a 12-game losing streak in there at some point too. So,
well, at one point, whenever the heck I did this, I think it was earlier this week, they had lost 32 of their last 36 games.
holy crap!
Can you imagine being a diehard Diamondback and have to watch that? Dude, I'd be in the bottle so quick. Brutal. It's one thing to lose and your team sucks. You know, all right, this is not our year. But to have to watch them lose 32 of 36 games, the ways that you must have lost those games. Because I do remember a couple of them because they were breaking the road losing streak. Couple of them were devastating where they're up like 5 or 6 runs and blow the game at the end. Because at one point they'd lost like 17 or 18 road games in a row. It's like brutal.
Those poor souls.
I mean, you're going in hoping you don't get swept every single time. It just sucks. All right, let's go ahead and I guess we're not gonna have time for Pepper, which is fine. We can put a pin in that for next week. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for putting up with my time delay and stuff like that. I've had a little bit of a brutal morning.
I just like to give you a hard time.
I know you do, but I also like to say thank you because I know we're all on busy schedule these days. But my true walk-off for the day is, please, Cubs, don't lose these last couple of games here to the Dodgers and start it down spiraling. It's been a pretty fun season. I want to stay in this race. I don't want to get to August and I'm not really caring about my team anymore and just watching everybody else. So keep staying in this race, keep fighting, and just keep doing what you can to the deadline where we add and don't subtract.
So my walk-off is kind of a somber one, and I know this is a Cubs and White Sox show, but Cardinal Nation lost a very big fan last night. Good friend of the show, his sister passed away, and she was it was unexpected. It was out of nowhere. She was a diehard Cardinals fan, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. So I know everyone's pulling for Chicago that watches this show, but it would mean a lot for the Cardinals to win tonight to kind of bring the spirits up of this family. And they're playing the Pirates.
Hey, as a Cubs fan, I'm going to say go Cardinals tonight, and my sorry and condolences to the family. So go Cardinals tonight.
Yeah, I don't like to bring this kind of stuff up that much, but I know that you know, it's for people that know the show well. Her brother's called in several times, so I'm sure we'll talk about it down the road. But great job, bud. We'll see you. So we won't be here this week, this coming Saturday. So it will be July 10th, I believe, is the date that we'll be back. It'll be the Saturday before the All-Star break, so that should be a lot of fun too. And I'm going to give you a quick ring after the show because I have to ask you about something. Okay.
Okay, please do.
All right, y'all. Check us out next time. Like I said, we're gonna take the week off next week. We'll probably put something together for next Saturday if people are wanting to view something. I'll probably put a clip show or something together. But we will see you 2 weeks from today on the neighborhood play, and I hope I can find the freaking yeah, there we go. I've got so many things going on, man.
Holy cow!
I don't see it. We'll just go with a good old-fashioned take me out to the ball game.
Let's do it.
Play ball.